Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing my top 10-ish because I do have maybe like 2 extra fragrances that I am very excited to start wearing this spring. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you love all things girly, fragrance, beauty, self-care, body care, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. And with that said, let's jump right into today's video. So for today's video, I don't like to say these are the fragrances that you need for spring or these are the only fragrances you need for spring because we all have different noses, right? So what I might consider the best spring fragrances ever might not necessarily be the ones that you go for. So this video is more just me sharing what I'm very excited to wear this spring, the fragrances that I love for spring that I consider super appropriate for spring and that remind me of spring season. So if you have like a similar nose to me, or if you like one of the fragrances that I'm sharing in this list, then there's a high probability that you would probably like other ones. I'm pretty sure that there is 1 or 2 fragrances in here that I've mentioned in my previous year's list. I am going to link those videos in the description box because by now I think I've done like 4 of these videos of like my top spring videos, and I'm pretty sure some of them are going to be repeats because some of these just really remind me of the spring season, and that's when I like to pull them out. So let's jump right in. So there is a mix of some that I've always loved for spring and then some that I have never used, and this will be like the first spring season that I try them out. So I'm going to start off with the ones that I have used in spring before that I love, that this is probably like my 2nd or 3rd year using them. And I'm going to start off with Tocca fragrances because I feel like this house of fragrances just gets springtime so right, and I think there's something for everyone. I know that they have one, I think it's called Florence, which is very popular. I think that one has gardenia in it, and that's why I've never truly kind of gravitated towards that one, but I'm going to share my 2 favorites for springtime. And the first one is one that I did not shut up about last year for spring and summer, and a lot of you guys picked it up based on my recommendation, and I got DMs, I got messages telling me how much you loved it as well. So the best way that I could describe this scent is literally like this goddess that is like walking out of a waterfall, and she has like flowers all over her hair, like a little headband made of flowers, and she just smells so fresh and clean and fruity, but kind of cold because it's a very like cooling fragrance. And this is Tocca Giulietta. So this fragrance right here for springtime, I think it's one of the best fragrances, and also for summertime. It is a very like refreshing, cooling fragrance, and it gives this clean vibe without smelling like laundry, without smelling like soap. It's more clean, but a fruity clean, apple clean, but it's not your typical apple because there's also florals mixed in here. So it's just a very cooling, crisp apple. It kind of just makes you think of someone who washed their hair, took an amazing shower, and they're stepping out of the shower on like a spring day, and it just smells beautiful. Glistening type of clean, like cooling, refreshing, crisp, and bright. Really pretty. It's not too fruity. Sometimes some scents are too fruity and people don't really like that. So I think this is the perfect balance of florals along with fruits and just smelling very fresh and clean and really beautiful. So that is my first one. I absolutely love that one. So this one has a pretty big dent on it. This one does have a more fruity touch to it, and if you love Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice, this is one that you should look into, and this is Tocca Simone. So this one has a bigger dent than Giulietta, which is crazy. I guess I must have gone crazy with this one last spring and summer. This one also has those florals in there, those fruits in there. It also has apple, so it also has like an apple touch, but this one has watermelon. Very like aquatic, fresh, while smelling like watermelon, fruity. If you like L'Imperatrice, this one kind of reminds me of that one, but you're adding a little bit more florals to it, so it smells a little bit more elevated. Like you can definitely wear this out somewhere in, like to eat at dinner or something like that in a spring day. It would just work really nice. You would smell very juicy, fruity, and along with a little bit of floral in there as well. So these two, so good for springtime. Now, since I was mentioning Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice, this is going to be my next recommendation for spring. I didn't give it as much love last year, so this year I really do want to wear this one way more. There's a dent in this bottle, but I would love to reach for this one more often. This one is like just watery fruit. There is kiwi in here, there's watermelon, there's rhubarb, so there is a little bit of like a tart touch to this. Oh, it's so good. The first time I smelled this fragrance, you guys, it literally smelled like rotten fruit to me, like a mush of like watery rotten fruits. And I was just like, why is everyone loving this fragrance? What the heck? And I don't know what clicked in my brain, my nose, but when I kept on using it and like kind of trying to understand it, I started loving it and craving it. It's the perfect like watery scent, yet you can still smell it. It's really light though, so I wouldn't really wear this like on a cooler spring day. I would wear this more towards like spring slash heading into summer because it is really, really refreshing. It has really interesting notes. There's lemon tree in the base, musk and sandalwood. There's watermelon, kiwi, rhubarb. There's a little bit of pink pepper in here, cyclamen and jasmine, which the florals are not too sharp at all. To me, this one's all about the fruits. It's almost like water that's infused with fruits. That's kind of what this makes me think of. It's really, really nice, refreshing, and perfect for spring. So next up, this fragrance, whenever I wear this, even though I was craving this around December, which is crazy because it was cold, but I feel like it works year round. But for springtime, it's literally like, to me, the definition of spring. And this is Dolce & Gabbana Dolce. This has been a favorite fragrance of mine since 2016, 2015, when I really started getting into fragrances a lot. Like, I wouldn't just have one. Before that, I would have one or two fragrances. But then like around that time frame is when I really started getting more fragrances and having a little perfume tray. And this one was just, I loved it. I used to wear this one to work. This one is really, really nice. One of the notes is actually my name, which is amaryllis. That is a flower. So it's really cool. When I went to Fragrantica and searched it up and I saw that, it was pretty funny because I wasn't expecting to see that. I don't even know what that flower smells like. This fragrance just smells very dewy. So if you're seeing a trend in these videos, I really, really enjoy fragrances that have florals, but they're kind of mixed with like aquatic touches so that the florals are a little bit easier and smoother. That way they don't smell as sharp. I'm not really the type of girl to go for like gardenia and jasmine and tuberose. Like, I know that springtime, those are very popular, but to me, if I'm gonna do florals, I want it to have like an aquatic, dewy kind of touch to it. So this reminds me of like when you wake up in the morning and a garden still has like those morning dewdrops on it. So you're smelling the floral, but it's very aquatic to the nose. So beautiful. There's also almost like a green touch to it, but never too green. And I think that's from the neroli because I always kind of get like a green touch from neroli notes, but it's perfect in here along with that papaya flower. There's water lily, narcissus, and amaryllis, and then the base notes are musk and cashmere. So it is to me like just a very aquatic, fresh, musky, a little tiny bit green floral scent, but it just never gets old to me. And this one surprisingly lasts me almost the entire day. When I used to wear this to work and I would come home, I would still smell it on myself. So this is a very beautiful feminine scent, perfect for springtime. This next one, I need to use this fragrance, so that's why I'm putting it on this list. I'm very excited to wear it during spring because I never reach for it because I kind of have it tucked away hiding because I hate the packaging of this. But the scent in here, everyone goes crazy for the Mod Vanilla, but my favorite is the Mod Blush from Ariana Grande's releases. These two were released together. Everyone really loves the Mod Vanilla. Everyone goes crazy over it, and I ended up decluttering my Mod Vanilla, which I've kind of been curious about trying it again to see if I like it, but I think that fragrance has plum and I don't do plum. So I was kind of thinking I was not going to enjoy this one because it is mainly a floral fragrance. But this has got to be one of the prettiest florals I think I have ever tried, along with another one I'm going to talk about. Actually, two more. But the opening of this fragrance is so almost nostalgic to me. I don't know what it's reminding me of, but this is definitely like a fruity rose. There is raspberry and it opens up with passion fruit as well. So it's not automatically rose that's hitting your senses. There is citruses, there is the pink pepper, the passion fruit, which smells very bright and kind of like sparkly. And then that rose starts coming through. And to me, it's like a pink rose. But then there's also pear in the mid, and there's also magnolia, which comes through a lot. It's kind of mixed in with that rose. So it's not literally just a rose fragrance. This, I need to reach for it more because every time I wear this fragrance, I fall in love with it. It is super girly, super flirty, pink. It almost reminds me of like just a room that is like everything is pink, like fluffy and pink things everywhere. That's kind of just what this makes me think of. Really, really feminine, girly, and just beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Next up, we're gonna stay in the rose train because I am picky with rose, but then there are rose fragrances in my collection that I absolutely love. So this next one is Parfums de Marly Delina La Rose. This is my Delina of choice. I don't enjoy the other ones. The spices come through way too much on my skin, and this one is perfection. This again is an aquatic rose. So it's not a heavy rose, it's not a vintage rose, it's nothing like that. It is a very like modern smelling, youthful, watery, aquatic rose. And it lasts a really long time. It's such a beautiful, I'm gonna end up with like 50 perfumes on by the end of today. It's perfect to me. If you tried other Delinas and they did not work for you because you either got too much of the spice, too much incense, which is another thing that I got in Delina exclusive. So if you did not like how heavy they felt, how spicy they are, but you really love that delicate rose touch that they have, because you cannot deny that the rose in Delina is beautiful, but I just can't do those spices. So this right here is perfect. The lychee in here gives it a little bit of a tartness, but it's never sour, it's never screechy, it's aquatic, it's really, really pretty, and I think it's done perfectly. And there's also peony in here, there's watery notes. It's just a very beautiful scent, especially for spring and summertime. So if you're interested, you can find this at So Avant-Garde. I am going to be putting a 20% off discount code on the screen, and I will leave a link in the description box just in case you are interested. Most of the time, they also have samples to try so that you don't commit to buying a full-size bottle. Never do that, or at least I don't recommend it. If you enjoy doing it, then by all means go for it. But I would definitely suggest trying a sample. They have a lot of samples on that website, so go ahead and check them out, and you can find this fragrance there. So that is Delina La Rose. Next up is one that I have loved from the minute that I got this fragrance, but lately I cannot get enough of it. And for springtime, it's perfect. And this is Givenchy Irresistible. I don't think this gets talked about enough. I mean, I've loved this one since the minute that I hauled this fragrance and I talked about it. I have always just loved this fragrance. And again, for springtime, this is perfect. This is, again, along the same lines as the ones that I talked about. Now, this one to me, instead of being on the aquatic side, this is more like on the powdery musky side. And there is also one of my favorite musk notes, which is ambrette. Ambrette is usually my favorite type of musk added into a fragrance because it makes it very smooth, very almost airy, and kind of like the fragrance doesn't feel too dense or thick, but it's noticeable and it's there. So I really love ambrette paired with iris, and also opens up with pear. So it does open up with like this juicy touch from the pear, but then the ambrette and the musk and the iris give it like this powdery musky touch along with like a pink rose. Very nice. Again, this is like a modern rose, a youthful rose, but it's very classy and pretty and beautiful. It's like a delicate fragrance, and for springtime it's perfect. Next up, we have Clean Reserve Sparkling Sugar, and this is another one that I think is just perfect for springtime. There is peach in here, black currant, which I am not a fan of black currant, but in here it's done beautifully along with musk. It's a very sparkling scent, just like the name suggests. It's very sweet. And the peach, it's not too peachy, but it just adds like that perfect amount of that juiciness that peach gives to a fragrance, and it helps to blend in with the black currant so that it's not too syrupy, or it does not smell like cat pee, which some black currants can do. This is so good, and there is like a sugary touch in there, and it's pretty musky, but it doesn't bother me. And I love this one for springtime. So this is a really, really nice one from Clean Reserve. I love it. Next up is another one that I love. When I tell you I love this fragrance, it is so good. I wish that I could smell it on myself longer. I really do. But this is Juliet Has a Gun Pear Ink. This right here, which you can see it's loved. If you love pear, this is not an obvious in your face pear, but it has the perfect amount of sweetness in there. So easy to wear. Like you can literally pick this up and shower yourself in this, and it's not gonna be too much. It's not gonna be obnoxious. It's just this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pear fragrance. And if you love, Juliet Has a Gun type of style of fragrance where those fragrances almost smell like a second skin. Like it's not too much, but it's noticeable. You smell it on yourself. And this just has like a hint of pear added to it. So I love this one. It's one of my favorite ones from the house. So that is Pear Ink. Now I'm going to talk about these three, which is the first year that I use these for springtime, but I'm excited about them for springtime. So the first one is a travel size. I think I really want to get a full-size bottle of this one. I'm thinking about it, but I need to wear it some more to make sure. And this is Gucci Flora Gorgeous Magnolia. So this caught my attention from the day that I hauled it. The notes in here really, really caught my attention. This opens up with dewberry and coconut, which you guys know I am a coconut girl. I love coconut. And then there is magnolia, jasmine, which jasmine is not too noticeable. There is clary sage, musk patchouli, and blonde woods. The patchouli is never too much in here. Ooh, and that opening, I want a full-size bottle of this for sure. It is so, so good. The opening, that mix of coconut with the dewberry kind of makes me think of the way that Viva La Juicy and Juicy Couture fragrances always use berries in their fragrances, but then this one smells a little more grown up. You get the sweet berries, you get that kind of like scent where it makes you think of Viva La Juicy and all of those Juicy Couture, like very berry juicy scents, but then the florals are a little bit more elevated in here. The patchouli makes it smell a little bit more grown up. I would say it's perfect for like dinner during springtime or a night out during springtime or even during the day. It's not too much, and it's my favorite one out of the line of the Gucci Flora line. Gorgeous Gardenia was nice. It never really bothered me too much, but I didn't reach for it that much. And then the Gorgeous Jasmine was like a heck no. I tried that one in the store. It was a no. But this one, so, so good. I think I might end up, you might be seeing a full-size bottle of this one very soon on my channel. Then next up, we have Ellis Brooklyn Apple Love, which I started off with a travel size for this fragrance. And I have had like a love-hate relationship with this fragrance. Not a hate about the scent, obviously, but a hate because it doesn't last. But it's such a unique apple scent to me. It's not the same apple that you smell in Kayali Eden Juicy Apple. It's not the same that I get from other apple fragrances. This one has like a sugary touch to it. There is sugar in this fragrance. There is also peach, which I love peach. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I really, really like this one, is the apple, the peach, the sugar in it. The vanilla actually comes through towards the dry down, and I love layering this with other fragrances, which I usually don't do that. But while I was on vacation in Miami, I started adding this like mixed with other things that I was wearing, and it just does something for the fragrance. The way that Ellis Brooklyn does Ambroxan, I noticed I'm a huge fan because it just helps all of the notes really blend together really nicely. So if you like smooth fragrances that are not too harsh, if you're sensitive maybe with headaches or things like that, this is a nice one to check out. It's apple, but it's not apple like too in your face apple. I feel like there's a nice mix of fruits in here, and the florals that are used in here are also very soft and nice. So really sweet apple, sugary, a little bit of vanilla. Really, really nice apple fragrance for springtime. And last but not least, we have a Marc Jacobs fragrance, and this is Daisy Love Pop. So this fragrance caught my attention just because of the pistachio in here. As soon as I saw that note, I just blind bought it. So this fragrance opens up with cloudberry and bergamot, which the cloudberry is in all of the Daisy fragrances, the Daisy Love fragrances. So when it first opens up, you're gonna think that you're smelling Daisy Love. But if you give it like 2 to 3 minutes, for it to start settling down, you will start to smell the pistachio and the whipped cream. So it gets like this creamy, nutty mix in there with that fruity touch from the cloudberry, along with benzoin and musk. So this one I'm excited to wear as well, because even though it does have that nuttiness and the pistachio that I like, it's not a pistachio fragrance. It's just, you get the pistachio in there, but there's also fruity touch to it. So it's perfect for springtime. So this is another one that I'm very, very excited to wear this spring, to see how I enjoy it during spring and summer, because I did pick this one up during winter time. And yeah, that pistachio starts coming through literally like a minute to 2 minutes after you spray it, or at least to my nose, but really, really nice. So those are the fragrances that I recommend for spring of 2024. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what fragrances you are looking forward to wearing this spring season, or the ones that are your absolute favorites that you pull out every year during springtime. I can't wait to talk to you guys in the comments section. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one.